Now, you represent Goffstown.
Yes, and where.
And where. But at the same time, you're also a House rep for the entire state. So one quick question is, what do you think has been your biggest impact on any legislation going through that affects the citizenry of New Hampshire?
Well, that is the key, and when someone says, you know, you represent me in Goffstown, I certainly do, but every vote we take affects everyone in the entire state. So I guess my primary concern is to make sure Goffstown is represented properly and where, but make sure that the people of the far reaches of the state get the same type of representation. And this all falls on individuals' rights, and I use the Constitution as a rule book, and that's kind of how my game plan is set up.
Which Constitution?
The U.S. and the New Hampshire Constitution, the two that I swore in my oath when I took that oath of office, to uphold both of them.
What piece of legislation have you had the biggest impact on, and which piece of legislation do you think has had the biggest impact on the citizenry of New Hampshire?
Well, I sponsored a couple bills. They didn't pass, but it made a big impact. For instance, one was to allow grocery stores to sell liquor. It had a great response from the grocers. It had a great response from the consumers. It wasn't quite as well received from the Liquor Commission, and rightly so. They have a lot at stake, and they were protecting their territory. There is some great legislation that I thought should have passed, but it didn't. Some of the other ones that I was involved with, for instance, allows abutters on Lake Winnipesaukee to within a quarter of a mile of a particular piece. It's going to be, they have to notify the abutters only on the water side of the road, for instance. So now they don't need to, if they wanted to change something out in the water, let's say a no-wake zone, or they want to do something out in the water, they only need to, tell the abutters that have a deeded water access or deeded water right, rather than have to contact the abutters on the other side of the road who have no really say for that water right.
Right, and in a lot of towns, you have to notify everybody that is directly impacted by your lot.
Every abutter, and when you're on a lake, everybody on that lake may be an abutter, especially if it's out into the water, like a no-wake zone, for instance.
Correct.
GrokTV.